Wow, 2021, am I right? Crazy how that happened. And so recently. Anyways, here's some of my favorite games I played during that recent time that just happened. Last year was probably some of the least time I spent on new single player games, mostly because not a lot of new really happened. Because, you know. So what mostly took up my time was old stuff, some multiplayer, and a sprinkle of new. Crab Game and Phasmophobia fueled my friends and I's competitive spirits and trust issues. Oh my god, no! Oh my god, no! Help! All in 2 simple packages. But somehow, the game that took the top dog status was Fortnite. I can't even make up a stupid excuse. I just played a ton of Fortnite with my friends. At its core, Fortnite is kind of a messy game, with constant changes and balancing adjustments, making it a never-ending slew of confusion. One second, you're flying around in Spider-Man gloves, witnessing one of the biggest crossover events in history, and just watching a trailer for the movie Tenet? Okay. This game has grown so far out of its original identity and transformed into one of the most chaotic and ridiculous online multiplayer experiences ever. And honestly, I'm here for every moment of it. I was still doing this before Zero Build. I'm absolutely terrible, but I have friends who aren't, so it kind of works out. I know the perception of Fortnite is still kind of baby's first shooter combined with fully grown man cranking 90s until his carpal tunnel kicks in, but I kind of like that about it. It's funny. Now entering the anime shit zone. Skip to here if you'd rather die than listen to me talk about anime video games. I played several anime games over the course of the year, and while most of them were enjoyable time sinks, only 2 really made me think, yeah, I would play that again. One was kind of out of necessity, but we'll get there. First we got Persona 5 The Squeakquel, featuring not the cool characters from Royal, but luckily replacing them with some solid villains. Everything here is typical Persona, especially of the 5 variety. However, they changed the core gameplay to hack and slash, as in mashing square and spamming my silly slime guy into hordes of enemies. Despite taking a complete heel turn in gameplay like most Persona spin-offs do, it's still surprisingly fun, even if a little mindless. Characters are the same as ever, and the new ones are just as great. Horror straight up says, fuck the police, so that's a great highlight.
Sorry about that, we just despise the police is all.
It's kind of weird when you say it with a smile like that.
Now for the other one. Nier Automata is literally impossible to describe to a random person. This guy is insane. The inner machinations of his mind are an enigma times like 4. Now, before playing Automata, I decided to play the recently remade prequel to the game, Replicant. And honestly, it wasn't very good. The characters and plot were interesting, and it got meta towards the end, which was kind of fun, but everything else in between made me... That's why I went into Automata with pretty low expectations. The trailers and short excerpts of gameplay drew me in, but still so did Replicants. Luckily, I was pretty wrong. Automata holds nothing back in terms of graphical fidelity, story, and wow moments that make you want to keep coming back. And that's also sort of a requirement anyways. There are multiple routes and endings required to see everything the game has to offer. While I thought this would drag, the actual switch-ups in gameplay and short runtime made it relatively easy to get there. This may look like a Robo-Lady anime action game, but it's exactly that on top of one of the craziest spiraling plots out there, and every moment has you going deeper and deeper for that next answer. Shout out the real MVP, this moose. Making fast travel easy. Alright, now that we're done with the actiony RPG stuff. Psych! You thought it was over? No. I just played 4 whole Yakuza games. Out of all of them, this was the best one. But I'll just talk about the series overall, since just talking about Yakuza 2 sounds kind of confusing. I've never seen a line of games so utterly serious and tough, while at the same time being the wackiest thing I've ever played. You deal with the Japanese version of the Mafia and beat people up, while singing karaoke and dancing Friday Fever style. You can also race toy cars, play a variety of sports activities, gamble, run a cabaret club, play Fire Emblem but good. It's like the developers try to think of the weirdest contrast possible, pick this, and cranked it up to 11. Journey oftentimes feels more like a moving painting than an actual video game. Because, I mean, just look at it. I could gush forever about how every setting, despite taking place in a big desert temple and its surroundings, has some of the most varied and beautiful looking locations I've ever seen. But beyond that, it's also just a calming, adventurous, and playful short experience that has made me come back more times than I can count just to go through it all over again. Connecting with a random person online also creates some entertaining moments, and lets the sometimes lonely setting become a little bit more lively. It's fun to sit down after a long day and spend an hour or two seeing what this game has to offer. Terraria was probably one of my most played games. During 2015, I played this non-stop with my friends and myself, leaving pretty much no stone unturned. Then dropped it after seeing everything there was to offer. That was until mod support became easily accessible. No. Team mod loaders open up another world of new content previously far out of reach without taking the extra steps, especially if you wanted to mod with friends. Now it's easy as a 1-2 click and voila. You can now fight bosses with laser beams in hand. Other than mods, Terraria at its base is a great time sink, slowly creating an unstoppable character, taking on more and more challenging bosses, creating your own little town or massive apartment complex of unique NPCs. Everything about it feels so satisfying to complete. It's an incredible time, and honestly, I can't wait to see what stupid stuff happens next in the modding community. This game still made me really sad. I've made a whole video going in depth about how much I enjoy Mori, so I'll keep it short. I know there's the trend of quirky indie RPG actually about depression jokes, but there's so much more to it to the point that it blows that trope out of the water. Mori is a game filled with so much love and care in every little detail. It's hard not for me to appreciate it. I beat this game more than a year ago at this point, and I've replayed it multiple times and 100%ed it. A moving story full of lovable characters and a final twist that just yanks your heart out. I love this game to bits, and I honestly couldn't give it a higher recommendation.
Alright, that's the end. See you again in hopefully not August.